Welcome to the Ozark Hobby Adventurist. I'm Ken, and today we're going to discuss building some stuff. I've got these really cool homemade jack right here. I'm getting ready to redesign that a little bit. I got a couple fire extinguishers, and I got my new first aid box. This thing's awesome. This is a little different building experience, where these are a little bit simpler to throw out when you get bored on an afternoon and looking for something to do. So we're going to start with making the cylinders for the fire extinguishers and the jack. First thing you're going to need is your drill. Dun, dun, dun. Second thing you're going to need is a 3/8 inch diameter wooden dowel. Oh, look at that. That's been whacked off once before. So what you're going to do is you're going to put that in your chuck. What you're not going to do is over tighten it. You just want it snug. Otherwise your fingers in there are going to put indents into your what would be a really nice fire extinguisher. You can also make portable air tanks. Alright, here we go. Going the wrong direction. Alright, that was the easy part. Now you've got to round that off a little bit. We're going to pull that out to make it a little bit easier to work with. Also makes it easier to screw up your tank. And we're going to whip out the sanding stick. Ain't that looking pretty? Alrighty. Now the next thing we got to do is drill a hole directly in the middle of this thing. And if you're off a little bit, that's okay, because you'll get the hang of it. Might have to build one or two in order to get it figured out. That's close enough right there. Alrighty then. Just because we know what we got going on, we're going to go ahead and drill the hole out a little bit bigger for a fire extinguisher. If you need to do this to make a jack, just keep going as big as whatever you're using for your hydraulic center shaft. Alrighty. There we go. And if you're going to mark on wood, use a pencil, not a magic marker, because it's permanent. A black magic marker will bleed through your red paint for 1 or 2 coats. Alrighty then. So you can do this while it's on there, or you can do it while it's off the drill. If you're going to do it off the drill, you just put your little bend, a little crease right there, so that you can get the roundness. And then all you gotta do is swirl this back and forth, and you can smooth that out. In that little pocket. And there you are. There is a nice, neat little tank wannabe. See? Alright. Now, the next thing you're going to wonder is how all this is put together. There's two ways you can do this. You can make this as one unit and put it in, which is really hard, or you can assemble this in a couple pieces. Basically, you have some in there to start with and do you a sharp bend. The softer the metal, the easier it is to work with. This right here is a little piece of heat shrink tubing. Very carefully heated up all nice and even. I'm not going to get into big detail on how to make the handles, but the handles are really easy. It's two pieces of plastic. They're glued up here, and before I glued them together, I heated them up and just put a little bend in it. This right here is a barbecue skewer, a bamboo skewer that cut off the very end. I mean, it's just like a little teeny tiny slice, and super glued it on there, painted silver. Ta-da, there you go. Okay, now here's a jack. This is a rough one. This is one of my early versions, which means you may make more than one before you get the hang of it. Alright, so I made this like a fire extinguisher and kept going bigger with the hole, and I'm not for sure what size that is, but that's actually designed to, don't prove me a liar, there we go, to come out. So if I wanted to put a shorter jack shaft in it or a longer one, I can do that. And this was done with red magic marker. You can see it bled through there. So you can whip one of these out. You just got to have the motivation to do it. And I'm getting ready to build a new modified version of this. So now you got like a little jack, or a jack stand, if you would, for the garage. Alright, now you're interested in the first aid box. Okie dokies. The first aid box is kind of neat. Kind of proud of it myself. I haven't built any models and stuff for a while. And so, you know, I'm kind of amazed. It's got hinges. And it's got a little latch on the front. It doesn't open, it's just a model, static model. It's going to be my first aid kit for my rock crawler. Pretty simple. Well, you're like, well, how do you build something that looks like that? Well, it's really neat. First thing you need is materials. And so these materials right here are from Evergreen Scale Models. And this is styrene plastic. And you can order this in a great big huge sheet. And one of the things that I like about this stuff here, especially for model railroading, is the fact that it makes it really easy to build something. And I'm going to build another box out of here, but I'm going to show you how the box is going to basically go together, so you have an idea what you need to do when you go to do this. It's like, well, stuff doesn't fit. It's pretty simple. Okay. we are going to build a box out of this real quick. And so we're going to go 4 squares long, 2 squares wide. So being that this is already kind of pre-scored for you, we're going to go 2 squares wide. Right? And since we're going 4 squares long, we'll break this down. Oh, it wasn't that complicated. Oh, check this out. Oh, ends. Oh, joy. All right, now I've got to break some of this down so that I can make sides like so. So basically, when you're done, you have a side and an end and another side and another end. And you're like, well, but mathematically and physically that's not going to work. You're right, it won't work. Not until you bevel the edges here on the inside 45 degrees. And you have to do that on all your parts. And then when your parts fit together, they'll fit together with a bevel. And it'll be easier to keep things straight, nice and even. And if you do that, it'll be exactly the same size as the bottom piece. This is going to be an open crate, so I'm not making a lid for it. So, pretty cool. And when you go to glue this together, you've got your bevel. Don't have to use much cement. And what you want to try to do is not get too much cement on either end so that your glue is kind of in the middle moving its way out, and then you can just literally set it on top. And whenever everything's all nice and tacky together, it'll sit there all by itself. And then you can slowly move it left or right with like a pencil or something real sensitive, and so it dries straight. You have to keep working with it a little bit. Sometimes it takes a while to get one perfect 90-degree, but once you get that right and it's glued into place, the rest of it will all fall together. Alrighty. I used Testors enamel, bright freaking red, and Testors silver, and black magic marker to make sure that my metal that I used looked somewhat like a fire extinguisher hose. And so these are all simple things that you can use around the house. And I think that's it for today. So if you're getting bored, looking for some excitement, you know what to do. Check out the fire extinguisher and the box, and maybe you get creative and make a bigger box or a bigger fire extinguisher. Who knows? Anyway, there you go. A few thoughts for you. Thanks for watching. Share, like, subscribe. Maybe we'll see you on a rock somewhere.